Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. I seem to have something stuck in my throat this morning. So, how is everybody? Got the Aloha deck, got the Rebel deck. That's always a fun one, right? Stress Reduction Essentials, and the Self-Care Rituals deck is what we're going to start with because today is Self-Care Wednesday. So, just going to shuffle these while I wait for some people to come on. And we'll get rolling after that. So, how is everybody? It's midweek. It is midweek. It's hump day. Hump day, hump day, hump day. I don't know why I love doing that, but I do. So, all the things today. All the things. Wow. Am I going to have to go through this whole thing? I think so, because that legit just popped out of the deck. So, this is just the guidance cards before we hit the topic. I usually do this in the morning, and then on Friday, that's all we do is Oracle cards. So, these are actually not Oracle cards. These are self-care deck. This is the self-care deck. Just self-care ideas, right? So, just kind of winging it. So, let's see if we got anything else, anything else, anything else, anything else, anything else. Okay, I'm thinking no, right? Thinking no. So, oh, there we go. There they are. I knew there was like two more. I could just feel it, right? So, let's get cracking. All right, just shuffle these real quick, just in case. Alrighty. Number 1. Connect with animals. This is a really pretty card. Connect with animals. So, yeah, I really like this. You know, it's just kind of really showing you, that, if you have your own fur babies or water babies, or even if you live out in nature or you like to walk out in nature, just try to connect. If you're out in nature, be careful if you're trying to connect. But I think what they're saying is just kind of just go out and be in nature, or, surround yourself with like all these beautiful, creatures and animals and everything. And just, if you have your own at home, connect with them. They're not just four-legged creatures running around your house, or hopping around your house, or whatever kind of animal thing you have going on in your house. They can bring peace into your life. They can bring joy into your life. If you look at them more than just, something to keep you company, they can bring so much more into your life. That's why a lot of, I get laughed at sometimes when I refer to the kitties as my fur babies. But I love my cat. I love my cat. And, there is a level of joy that they bring, when you think about it too, they depend on you. Oh, my face is getting all itchy, but, it usually means somebody's trying to get a message across, but they bring so much. I even read something that says, the purr of a cat is actually a healing tone. So, you can take that for what you will, but it is actually considered a healing tone at the frequency that they're vibrating at. So there you go. And that's also kind of common. Good morning, baby sibling. Happy hump day. But she likes that. But the other thing, when you connect with animals, a lot of times they can sense you, whether it's your dog or your cat, just all kinds of things. I had a fish once. I swear to you. People think fish are dumb. I do not think they're dumb. All right. And maybe I can't prove that. But I had a fish that there was one specific show I would watch. It was a betta fish, so it was very singular in its little home. But there was one show I'd watch, and I kid you not, that fish would be swimming. The minute that music started playing, they would just stop. And I don't know how fish see. I don't know how far they can see, but they would just stop. And then when the show was over, like, they just start swimming around again. It was just like the weirdest thing. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And at first I thought it was just me. I thought, oh, okay, now that's just a one-off thing. But it happened every time. And it's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. That's a fish with a personality. But since grown into fur babies. But yeah, I think a lot of times we don't value them as much as we can, or should. You know, a lot of us do. So I'm not talking to those of you who are saying, hey, wait a minute, I do backflips for my fur baby. Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that just kind of see them as being something else in the room. You know, something to come home to. That's, oh, okay, you know, I'm ready for your attention now. You know what? They need your attention all the time. They're literally like your children. So that's also something to think about. But yeah, so just find a way to connect with animals. And I'm sorry if I didn't mean to be all preachy there for a moment, but yeah, they need love too. You know, just because you don't speak the same language doesn't mean they don't need love. I mean, you don't speak the same language as a lot of other human beings in this world, but they're still human and they still need love. Right. So it's kind of the same idea. So anywhere you want to connect with animals, connect with animals. That's your first self-care card. Take a walk. I feel like that one's for me. Take a walk. It's actually kind of boring to walk where I live, but I know I need to start doing it, so I'm probably going to go do that today. But yeah, take a walk. And you know what? You could take a walk in nature and connect. Like I said, you can take a walk in nature and connect with animals. But take a walk. That can help bring clarity. That can help you clear your mind. Kind of the same thing. But you'd be surprised, even if you're walking in the most boring place in the world, how you can find clarity. Or if you're listening to music, you know, what you're doing is you're getting out of your head. You're getting out of yourself. You're getting out of your space. And you're giving yourself this room to just breathe and be. You know, you can walking is good for your health, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You can relieve a lot of stress by walking because, you know, you're focused on all these different things. You're seeing all these different things around you. And so, that can be very, very, that can be very helpful for you to get out of your head. I'm so sorry, guys. You know, it's funny. I have to say, Monday's video, I uploaded the wrong one to YouTube and Twitter. So I had to quickly fix that this morning. Yesterday, a reading I do in a group every week, I totally forgot about. And then today I was like, oh great, what's going to happen today? I'm blaming retrograde. But it's like, what's going to happen? And I cannot stop touching my face. It feels like someone's just waving a feather, like just right over my face. It's driving me crazy. So the next one, aromatherapy. I know a lot of people will sit there and go, you're stupid. Try it, and then call me stupid. God, I'm just kind of snarky this morning, aren't I? So I did not get a lot of sleep last night. But, oh look, I was just going to say, lavender is a good one. They have lavender. Just be careful. If you use essential oils, or you use a spray or a diffuser, be careful around your pets, because not every essential oil is good for them. Cats, lavender, I believe, might actually be toxic to them. Because my poor kitty got sick before I learned all this stuff. She's okay, don't worry. But, and that was quite a while ago, but had no idea. And I was using a spray. So just be careful when you use like the diffuser, because the diffuser is like, it's a mist, right? It just kind of, when it lands everywhere. So, just be careful with that. Or, I mean, they do make plug-in stuff that like you can buy from the store from like the name brand companies. But they do make those, and it's pretty much just the scent. But it can also just kind of help you relax. Or incense. But just like I said, just be careful and make sure that it's not going to be harmful to your fur babies if you have any. If you don't, knock yourself out. Aromatherapy is amazing. They actually make bracelets, which, let me see if I can reach mine. Here we go. This was actually given to me. These little lava beads at the end, I'm not sure if you can see them, but they're usually the porous stones. On the end, you can actually drop your essential oils on these. I just start very little at a time. You don't have to cover every single dot, because that might be overpowering for you or for people around you. But yeah, the porous ones you can drop a little bit, or they make necklaces that you can wear, so that it will actually help too, if you do have little fur babies and you don't want them hurt. So you can try that, and like I said, just start with 1 drop, see how it goes. You may not smell it all day long, but I'm pretty sure that your subconscious is going to pick it up. Like you may get that whiff of that night, so like, oh, that smells like flowers. Oh, it's me. So kind of one of those things. So aromatherapy can be very good, especially if you're meditating. I love my incense. I love my incense. This one is my favorite. That is my total favorite. I don't know why. I just absolutely 100% love that smell. Okay, now this is stepping out of this is stepping into the metaphysical zone, excuse me. Create an altar. Now, this isn't meant to be sacrilegious for anybody that might be watching this. What they're talking about here is more of like a meditation center, if you will. But for people whose higher power, whose source may not be of the religious type, the altar is kind of in the same respect as a religious altar. It is there to put, where you can put your beliefs, where you can put your focus. You put the things on there that you can meditate on. But there's all different kinds. I mean, if you really kind of think about it, when you're decorating a dresser drawer, or not a dresser, but if you're decorating a dresser, right, and you put all these little things on there, it's sort of like your altar. Even if it's just pictures of your family, it's like a family altar type of thing. So don't get too hung up on the words, but get caught up in the actual meaning and the intention for this card. So see, they have flowers and candles on there. You could put, if you have a singing bowl, you can put that on there, your incense, your aromatherapies, whatever it is that you lean in towards. You can create a space, a sacred space for those things. Ooh, sweet treats. This one's right up my alley. Sweet treats. Self-care can be sweet treats. I know a lot of times we body shame ourselves, we food shame ourselves, we do all kinds of shaming of ourselves to where we get to the point where we're afraid to eat things. If something doesn't agree with you, then tread lightly. Don't gorge on it. If it doesn't, agree with you because you ate too much, just take a nibble here or there. If you are in a precarious place, I have a very toxic relationship with food. And I am slowly healing that, but it has been a journey and it has been torture. But I do try to remind myself that from time to time, it is okay to indulge. Because a lot of times for people like me, when you ignore that craving or you force yourself to not have that craving, it's going to get worse. So in this case, it's about portion control. It's about moderation. It's about just kind of allowing yourself to have a better relationship with food. And that's what it is. I am fixing the toxic relationship I have with food and trying to break it down back to its base and rebuild a healthy relationship with food so that I'm not shaming myself, that I'm not making myself feel bad. I am on a very, for me, I wouldn't even say it's a unique health journey. A lot of people are not getting healthy because it's for vanity purposes. That's kind of a side bonus, right? It's because we want to be healthy, because we want to be able to breathe when we walk more than 10 feet. Because, okay, that's an exaggeration for me, but we want to be able to, feel good, just when we wake up and not feel like we're struggling or not feel low energy. And it can be very hard. If you have a dinged up mental health like I do, you kind of feel like everything's against you when you're trying to push forward in the direction of feeling healthy, because you have all these negative mindsets that have been put into your head. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Growing up, I had a lot of that because of my heart health. So, and I think in my own way, when I became an emotional eater, I also rebelled. Because I was also rebelling against society and the way we treat people who do not look this big. And even the people that look this big, they may not necessarily be that healthy. You don't know what they have to go through every day to get to that size. They may have an eating disorder. You don't know that. Don't go judging everybody thinking, oh, they have an eating disorder because they're thin. No, Sissy Joe had a great metabolism. This girl could eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and not gain weight. I swear to you, she could not gain weight. I have another friend like that. And just, they can eat and eat and eat and not gain weight. And if they do, it's like maybe a pound here or a pound there. But they just have these fabulous metabolisms. And no, they do not, they did not. Well, Sissy Joe didn't exercise that often. She spent a lot of time working. So that was her passion. That was her baby, was her job. But it just goes to show that when you don't put limitations on yourself and you don't shame yourself, that you can enjoy some of the things you like. But if you're trying to rebuild that relationship, there are things that I had to cut out of my life right now that I struggle with on certain days. Last week, I know TMI, but last week I was PMSing, and I kept saying to myself, well, maybe today, because it's a craving. But I thought, no, because it wasn't a natural craving. It wasn't something where it's like, you know what, that just sounds really good today. It was a mindset. It was a habit. Because every time I would PMS, right before my period, I would have that same craving and I would feed it day after day after day. And I told myself, no, we cannot do that. We cannot go backwards. Since February 1st, I have cut out the majority of my slippery slope fast foods. And I've challenged myself. I've had one of each, because I have to say there are two. I don't want to say who, because that's not fair to them, to those brand names, but there are two specific places I cannot go. One, I think, is more, I don't know if they have them outside of California. Well, no, they have them outside of California, but I don't know how far away from California they have them. But one of them, and one is a national chain, but they really are my slippery slope. And I know that if I do it, it's not going to end well. It's just like when I gave up drinking Coca-Cola 10 years ago. I can have a Sprite now and then because I love the bubbles, right? Who doesn't love the bubbles? But Coke itself, I had to give up. And even one of my friends last week, we went to the movies to see Doctor Strange. And I was just looking at her Slurpee or her Icy, and I'm just like, oh my God, I miss soda so much. I miss Coke so much. And she's like, well, why can't you have one? She's like, it's not real Coke. I'm like, so you don't understand. It's a slippery slope. This is going to sound stupid. And I'm not trying to compare myself to a drug addict. But I told her, or an alcoholic, I said, drinking a Coke for me is like an alcoholic drinking alcohol. And I said, I will fall back into bad patterns. And for me, it was a bad pattern because a lot of that weight gain came from that. I was very, very unhealthy when it came to this. So I was drinking like a 32-ounce Big Gulp every day of Coke, not Diet Coke, because the aspartame gives me headaches. So just regular Coke. And, that's where I started to really also develop a poor relationship with sweets. So now I find that, if I get something, I don't always eat it in one sitting like I used to. I'll sit there and go, you know what? I'm kind of feeling okay now. I'm done. And then, and then the nice thing is you have some more for later, right? It's not like I got to finish it now so I don't eat it tomorrow. That's shaming yourself. That's having a very unhealthy relationship with food because you were trying to finish it all so that you're not stretching it over time. Well, that doesn't mean you have to eat it tomorrow. I mean, if it goes bad, it goes bad. Throw it away. Or if you feel like having that cookie tomorrow, then have it tomorrow. But don't go overboard. Don't go crazy. You have to respect your food. You have to honor your food. And you have to not shame yourself when it comes to food. Because, I really think society kind of conditions us to feel that way. Well, you can't eat that because that's bad for you and that's horrible and blah, blah, blah. And we fall into those patterns where we let people shame us into doing things. And if we don't heal it the right way, because if it is emotional eating or if it is another, eating disorder that's fueled by emotions, that's fueled by how you think you're supposed to look, that's fueled by some sort of shaming, if you don't heal that properly, you're not going to break that cycle. And I'm not a therapist, I'm not a food therapist, but I'm telling you this from experience. And I had a therapist. Believe it or not, the therapist I went to see for my childhood traumas was also a therapist for eating disorders. Talk about hitting the jackpot, right? But her and I talked about that. And I'm not necessarily repeating her words to you because, everybody sits there, because everybody's therapy session is different. But across the board, including in books that I have read, about trying to kick these things before I went to therapy. If you do not heal whatever is triggering these eating habits, the cycle is not going to break. And I've had to break myself down to the very, very root of everything and restart. And it's hard when you're an emotional eater because you can't just give up food, right? I mean, we kind of need it to survive, but it's about giving up the mindset, and it's about lifestyle changes. And those are hard. Those are very, very hard. I never thought in my life I would go 3 months already and only have these 2 fast food places twice. Maybe, I think one of them I did twice and one of them I did once. You know, and they were spread so far apart. But the nice thing is when I do have that craving now, it's just like, no. Okay, no, because that's not what we need. So I'm building that habit. So the next one, make a vision board. Vision boards are fun. Is that? Oh, I didn't know what that was. Vision boards can be very, very fun. You know, a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, they're hokey, they're stupid, they're blah, blah, blah. That's okay. But try it anyway. And see what happens. Vision boards are meant to remind you what you would like to accomplish in life, the things you would like in life. If you put a picture of a house on that particular thing, like, oh, I really want this house, just be careful with that. Just say this or something equivalent or better. You know, don't just zero in, because you never know. You might get that house. But, you know, you don't want to ill will anybody that might be living in that house because it's not for sale at the time. The universe will move mountains for you if you truly believe it, including people. So just be careful with that. Just say this, the equivalent, or something better. You know, and when I say the equivalent, because maybe there's a house that's very specific to your desires and the things that you want. But it may not be available. But there might be one just as similar somewhere else, the equivalent of it somewhere else. So, or even one in that neighborhood that may not be the exact style you like, but you might fall in love with it anyways because you're like, whoa, I didn't even consider this. So remember, when you are manifesting or setting your intentions, this, the equivalent, or something better, or this or something better. It just depends on what it is that you're looking at and what you're asking for. Okay, so, but vision boards can be fun, and they can actually help you focus and zero in on your desires. If it's for a job, if it's for goals that you have. You know, if you are trying to get healthy and you're trying to reach a certain weight, put that number up there. And don't be discouraged, because remember, when you start working out, muscle weighs more than fat. So it's very, very possible that you are going to gain weight, but you're not gaining weight. You're gaining muscle. Okay, so just, you know, if you have to, talk to a personal trainer, talk to your doctor, but don't be discouraged. This is why a lot of times they will tell you to take measurements as opposed to, you know, just doing weight. Okay, because measurements usually will tell you the most. Next one, write a gratitude list. There you go, write a gratitude list. On YouTube, Simplifying Mom. She started yesterday doing the magic, day 1. I'm actually doing it too. Today is day 2 for us. But older sibling and I are doing it over here. But yeah, just go to Simplifying Mom, catch up. Yesterday was day 1. You can do it. The reason I'm bringing that up is because the gratitude list is a very, very big part of that. You have to gratitude 10 things every day. Okay, for 28 days. I'm sure she'll go into it if you do decide to watch from day 1, or you can buy the book and do it yourself. No, this is not an advertisement. They have no idea I'm even reading it. So, but gratitude your attitude. Sometimes when we're having a shitty day, I think I talked about this yesterday, when we just start being grateful for everything around us, when you just start, you know, even if it's for your window that keeps the birds and the bugs and the whatever else out. I have a friend who's terrified of birds. That's why I said birds. But that keeps everything outside that needs to be outside. Your curtains that keep the sun out, the blinds that keep the sun out, right? If you're just trying to relax, you know, your incense, your cards, the ability to watch these things on technology, even the smallest thing that may seem small to you could be a big thing to somebody else. So be grateful for it. Not everybody has a roof over their head, right? A sturdy roof over their head. Not everybody has a clean floor to sleep on. Just be grateful for the little things. To me, the little things are the biggest things. They're the best. But like I said, the little things to us could be big things to somebody else. So be grateful for everything. Maybe you made it through a green light. You're heading somewhere and you're on that roll, and then it seems like every single light you had has been red, and then all of a sudden 3 lights in a row are green. Maybe you put that intention out there. It's like, man, I wish I could just get green lights. And then maybe someone's listening. Be grateful for that. Right? I know you may think that's dumb, but it's not. That's gratituding. It's gratitude, your attitude. I said this yesterday in the perspective. This world needs a huge dose of love in it. I didn't exactly put it that way, but I've said that in the past perspectives. And that's what we need to do. We need to shine our light into this world. A big, big light. But the more we complain about things, the more we kind of just decide to, well, I'm not going to do anything about it, but I'm going to complain about it. Then you're not adding light into this world. And believe it or not, just being there for other people can add light into this world. Now, that doesn't mean you can't complain. That doesn't mean you can't be angry. That doesn't mean you can't be sad or feel negative things. We're human. We're going to do that. But do your best to not live in that feeling. Because that's when we start to go dark. And if you're a person who loves to be out there spreading your joy, spreading your love, spreading your magic, spreading your light everywhere, when you start to feel down, you're going to dim your light. And you never know who might need to see it. So even when it's hard, just remember who you are. Remember what you put into this world. And then feel what you have to feel. Go through what you have to go through. But return to your light sooner rather than later, because a lot of times too, and I'll say this for anybody who falls into the mental health umbrella, if you focus too hard on something, you could put yourself into a spiral, and those things are hard to come out of. I mean, they're like crazy hard to come out of. So writing a gratitude list can help you get out of your head, and be grateful. In the book, they will tell you, they'll give you different ways of putting it, and you can just say, thank you for blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. So, thank you for the sunshine because the flowers can grow. It seems simple, but it's gratitude. Thank you for the birds. I mean, I literally said that and the birds started chirping. I don't think you can hear them, but they're still out there. So just gratitude. Nourish your temple. Speaking of food, nourish your temple. Nourishing your temple is not just about what you feed yourself physically. It's what you feed your mind. Talked about this a lot yesterday too. What you, or maybe it was Monday. I can't remember. Sorry, my brain this week. But, it was yesterday. What you speak is what you hear. It's what your brain processes, and it's what you end up seeing. So if you are consistently putting the wrong words in your mouth, if you are not in harmony with yourself, if you are just, walking around thinking you are the worst human being in the world, you are going to continue to see that. Even if you do feel this way, try to change your mindset. I actually like that Nourish Your Temple and Write a Gratitude List came up together because I think that can be helpful. If you're feeling, if you're not hungry, you just eaten and you're feeling tempted, like I need to eat more because maybe you're feeling an emotional void, try writing, try journaling, do a gratitude list. The gratitude list is perfect for people who don't journal or who don't write. Because all you're doing is just putting something down, and you never know, it could open up a floodgate for you. There may be thoughts and feelings in there that you have no idea were even in there, that you had no idea even existed, because they may be so repressed. They may be so pushed down, or they may be pushed down so far that you can't remember them until they start to come up. In which case, up and out. The sooner you get it out, the sooner you can heal it. You have to honor your emotions. You have to honor your feelings. That's how they get healed. Can they hurt? Yes, they can hurt like a bitch. But the more you lean into it, the healing part of that, the more you'll be able to take back your power. Don't surrender your power to anyone, or to any negativity. I've had negative feelings. We all have. I've spiraled with the best, or like the best. I've spiraled like the best. But somehow I was lucky enough to have people around me catch me, or to know that I had people to turn to. But I also realized in the end that I can't always expect somebody to be my safety net. And so I had to teach myself in a very hard way how to be my own safety net. And there were a lot of lessons I had to learn. There was a lot of emotions, a lot of pain. And there was one day a couple weeks ago that I talked about that I was done. I was so done. And that scared me. And, I was talking to an older sibling, and she's like, well, what can I do for him? I'm like, there's nothing you can do for me. And then I went upstairs, sat down on my bed, and I thought, you know what? I have to do this myself. I have to do this myself. Because there's not always going to be people around when we need them to be, or we want them to be. People have lives. Your support group people have lives. And, they may not be able to get back to you. I mean, even if they get back to you within a few minutes, that may not be fast enough. So that's when we have to sit down with ourselves and say, you know what? I have to learn how to be my own safety net. I have to learn to trust myself. And that's the biggest part, is trusting yourself. It's listening to your heart. It's learning how to fill your own void, how to fill, that emotional cup. Believe it or not, I will say this. There's a lot of times in this world where we think we add nothing to it. And you would be surprised at how wrong that is. A lot of people will sit there and say, whoa, where have you been? Haven't seen you in a while. You haven't been online, or you haven't done this, that, or the other. And they've missed you because you bring something to their lives. You add something to their lives. Okay, so every time you feel like you don't, there is someone out there. Even if it's just one person, that's okay. There is someone out there that sees you and appreciates you for what you bring to the table. And even if that's the seed you have to plant and start with, plant it and start there. All right, so let's get to the stress reductions essential. I'm never going to get this right. Stress reduction essentials deck. I do not know why I struggle with that every time I use this deck, but I do. So, silly willy. But, I don't know what that, that's a new card. I've never seen that one before. A lot of times when I get new decks, I don't, Nourishment came up again, so I'm going to go with that one. But, a lot of times when I get new decks, I won't go through them because I want to be surprised. I just kind of want to, see what it has to say and get to know them sometimes that way, which is probably not the best way, but it works for me. So, okay, maybe we have had this one before. Community, which is funny because we were just talking about that. Connection is one of the most fundamental human needs. We naturally need to connect with others, with family, friends, and loved ones. It brings joy and community that is necessary to all human beings. Humans are adaptable and can, of course, adapt to being alone, but this is not the natural way. Community provides support in times of need. Your community builds you up when you most need them, as you would do for them. You also have the right to choose the people you want to have in your life, your decisions. Self-care practice. Gratitude. Here we go again. This is the theme, okay? Today's theme is gratitude. Gratitude has been found to predict higher life satisfaction. What? Gratitude has been found to predict higher life satisfaction. Okay. Take 10 minutes and make a list of 5 people who are your beloved community. Write 3 things about each person that you appreciate. By taking the focus off of yourself and practicing gratitude, you free up space for the world to surprise and delight you. Good morning, baby bear. So, I like that. I like that practice of gratitude. Make a list of 5. I'm going to read that one last time. Make a list of 5 people who are your beloved community. Write 3 things about each person that you appreciate. That's going to help take the focus off of you And you know, that could even actually settle your nerves if you're having any, or settle your emotions if they're running pretty deep that day. So, nourishment. Nourishment. Again, remember, this isn't just about what you feed yourself, it's about what you feed your mind. Providing our body with healthy, personalized food that nourishes our soul and boosts our health is the optimal way to proactively take care of our whole being. There is a gut-brain connection. When we take care of our gut health, we take care of our brain. Now, I said this isn't just about what you feed yourself, but also what you feed your mind. This card hits the nail on the head, because when you're thinking negatively and you're trying to fill those voids with the emotions, you are not going to pick nourishing foods for your body. You know, I've never known anybody that has emotionally ate a salad. I mean, there may be someone out there, but I personally have never met anybody who has emotionally ate a salad. I know. You always go for the comfort foods. And maybe a salad is a comfort food for somebody, but the majority of people out there, I don't think so. That's just a guess, but pretty sure. I mean, if you're that one person, it's okay. Just, you know, salads are good, you know, and maybe you trained yourself to be in that place, you know, to say, oh God, I'm feeling emotional, maybe I'll eat a salad. However, don't feed yourself the salad because you're afraid to eat something else. You have to make peace with the past choices that you've made. You have to make peace with whatever's coming up in your head. It's like I said, I've had a lot of one-sided arguments with myself, just even over the last week because of the PMS and because I'm having my period. Sorry, I know TMI, but it's life. It happens. And because I really wanted this specific place I go to all the time, or would go to all the time when this would happen. And, you know, for 3 months, I've managed to just push it off. But this was the first month where I really tried to rationalize with myself, saying, hey, look, you've given it up this long, you can walk away from it just as easily. But it's not that easy. It's like saying, you know, it's like saying, oh, I can do this and it's not going to harm me. You know, it's like I mentioned earlier in the show that, you know, it's one of the reasons why I can't have Coca-Cola anymore. And I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss it when I go to the movies. I miss it when I go to sporting events. You know, I miss it when I go to Disneyland. I miss it a lot. But I know I can't go in that direction again because it was not good for me. It was a bad habit. I tried so many times to stop drinking it. Then I tried to drink it in moderation. It did not work. Water is my best friend. And water is what I prefer. Oh, baby bear. See, we synced. But this is what they're talking about with nourishment. When you feed your mind good things, you're probably going to make better choices. But also, when you feed yourself good foods, you're going to feel better. It's going to up your brain power, you know, because you're not feeling sluggish. You're not feeling all like a zombie, like a food zombie, you know. Happy place. I like the happy place, but happy place. Oh, that's a happy card. Developing your happy place is a wonderful way to promote ease, safety, and calm. It also retrains your vibrational set point to a higher frequency. This takes repetition, but it is absolutely worth it. See, baby bear misses coffee, but then there's tea. Believe it or not, I am not supposed to have caffeine. Excuse me, which is another reason why I had to give up soda or Coke. Excuse me, guys. However, there are caffeine alternatives. I use a Arbonne Fizz Stick, which is basically like a green tea type of caffeine. But I drink decaf coffee. That's how much I love coffee. There was a time years and years and years ago when I told my dad, I said, what's the point of drinking coffee if it's decaf? Because he had to go decaf. And when my doctor suggested, he didn't tell me to quit caffeine, but when my cardiologist suggested, you know, caffeine isn't super bad for you, but it's not the best idea either at the, you know, the amount of caffeine I would drink. Because here's the thing, caffeine is like a drug, or is a drug. You have some, then you get used to it, so you got to drink more and more and more and more and more until you're drinking so much caffeine, you're probably just a walking coffee bean. So, you know, but for me, what's interesting though, is when he told me this, older sibling's doctor had also told her this. And, I mean, we are roommates. So she she told me, okay, we're going to go decaf. Turns out she did it so well. I was decaffing for about 3 months before I asked her, when are we going to go to decaf? And she's all like, I've been giving you decaf, because she used to make my coffee in the morning when I go to work. She's so nice. I mean, she's like the best older sister ever. But she's like, you've been decaffeinated for like 3 months now. Which made sense, because sometimes when I go to Starbucks, I'd forget to order decaf, and I'd be wired. No idea why. I'm like, wow, they're making their coffee really good, because I just like, phew. Turns out it's because it was the only caffeine I'd had in like a while. So it is, if that's the reason you cannot have coffee, guys, that's fine. A lot of times it's other reasons. It could be the acid, it could be something else. But yeah, like Baby Bear says, she misses coffee, but there's tea. Tea is amazing. And not only that, tea has flavors coming out of their eyeballs. I was actually excited because when I was in England, I got to go to the Twinings store. I know, I didn't get to spend much time there, but because I was meeting a friend for lunch. But I remember passing it and thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna die. It's like I just want to lay on your floor and make like tea leaf angels. But I know, I like tea. What can I say? But I'll drink all kinds of tea. I even have, I bought a teapot that's a glass one. And I bought those little flower petal teas. So like the flower blooms inside. I know, it takes it to a whole new level. It really, really does. Oh, and jasmine tea. Okay, so anybody stepping into the metaphysical zone here for a moment. If you need to basically sage the inside of your body, drink jasmine tea. You can drink it with green tea too. You can mix them together because they're really amazing. But yeah, jasmine tea is very good for cleansing the soul. And it tastes really good. I actually had it for the first time at a Thai restaurant when I was out with Sissy Joe. And oh my god, it's a game changer. Jasmine tea is a game changer. I didn't even know they made jasmine tea until then. But yeah, and the last one, crystals. Crystals. Again, stepping out of the comfort zone for some people there. A lot of people think crystals are nothing more than a placebo effect. Hey, whatever floats your boat. Then, but if it makes it work, then do it. I personally love crystals. Made my very own. Kind of into crafting right now, so I made my own bracelets. The amethyst on this one and the black tourmaline, it's like protection, but it's also supposed to help kind of just balance the hormones and all that stuff. And for those of you who aren't sure, like maybe you're sitting on the line about what really, Shelley Marie, what can crystals really do for me? Just remember, we are made of energy. Everything pretty much outside is made of energy. You know, people may not think rocks have energy, but I truly believe rocks do have energy because they're part of this earth. They came from the earth. Sure, they may be tumbled down into little pebbles or big boulders now, but they were attached to this earth. They were a part of the core of this earth. And they have an energy. You know, I have a great video from about 3 weeks after the world first shut down during COVID. It was a very chilly morning, and I was sitting outside drinking my coffee, and I just decided I'm going to open the gate. You know, because I mean, our gate's pretty tall, but I just kind of want that nice, it's freezing out here, but I want that nice breeze to come through. And I kid you not, I could see the tree breathing. I call it breathing, but you could see like the oxygen that it creates coming off of its branches. And I thought I was dreaming. I'm just like, no, that's not possible. So I walked up to the tree, and sure enough, because it was just cold enough outside, and it was letting off like a steam almost. If I can find the video, I'll post it in the link, because I was gobsmacked. I'm not even sure if that's a right word to use for that, but I was just like, oh, wow, that's so cool. I've never seen that in my life. But it was so beautiful at the same time, because that's an energy. You know, people joke and call people tree huggers, but you know what? Don't you feel a little better after you're done hugging somebody or something? Even your fur babies, right? When you sit there and you're loving on them and you're just like, oh my God, I love you so much. And you know, you're sharing this energy. So don't look at things as being inanimate. Everything comes from something. I'm one of those crazy people that names everything, right? I name my computers, I name my car, I name anything. I mean, even my phone has a name. Okay, and it's usually specific to the kind of phone that it is. But before it used to be Ivy because it was like, the 4, the 5, the 6. But now it's Maxine because she's a Pro Max. But I know. But what's interesting is when I put Maxine, I did it XII, so there's a 12 in there. Okay, so now you know what kind of phone I have. But I do that because I realize that even though these materials may be man-made, all the materials come from somewhere, and even people's energy is on it. So, I mean, it might be getting a little too deep, but I truly believe in all these things. And that's why, that's why I do lean into the idea of crystals, because there is an energy that you can feel from them, and if you take care of them and you protect them and you cleanse them, for the people who do have these things. If you bought it because it's pretty, do a cleansing ritual with them, okay? Because they can't pick up other people's energy. And if you find maybe you've had a crystal laying around for a while and you just, I bought this because I thought it was pretty and it cracks, it's because it's absorbed too much. You might be sitting there going, how the hell did this thing crack? It's just been sitting there. Nobody touches it. It absorbs energy because it is sort of, it's from nature. It's just a pretty rock. It's a pretty stone. It's a stone that has been tumbled and crushed into something beautiful, that's come from the earth. That, Mother Nature's giving you these things. So it's just some food for thought for people that don't necessarily subscribe to that. And if you don't, it's okay. You don't have to. That's your thing. Okay, I'm not here to force you. I'm just here to educate and, let people know that, hey, this is something to look forward into. A lot of people don't want to because they get made fun of. People think they're hokey. I don't care what other people think anymore. I used to hide my love for crystals for years, but then I thought, you know what? I don't fucking care anymore. I do what I do. I love what I love. I like what I like. And, I love naming my computers. I mean, working on Big Red right now. I've had this laptop for about 10 years, knock wood. And I have Little Blue downstairs because I brought Big Red to England and damn, it was heavy. Okay, it was heavy, especially when you're running through the airport and, or traipsing through the airport and you're just like, oh my God, I know that I'm wearing a backpack that's made for computers, but this thing is heavy. So I invested in Little Blue, and Little Blue is my little travel companion. So anyways, okay, well, these things keep coming up. So let's do the Rebel deck. We need some fun. We need some absolute fun, all right? Take a shot. Take a shot. Don't take 12, take 1. Okay, maybe 2, and then move on. I don't know who we were talking to, but see? Baby Bear does the same thing. Oh, I want to know what your Roomba's name is, all right? I never thought about you naming my vacuum. I never thought about naming my vacuum, and I tell you, I go through vacuums like nobody's business. Maybe I need to name it. I need to name them. I have one upstairs and one downstairs. But, oh, Betsy, I love that. I'm going to name mine Hazel. I know everybody's sitting there going like, who cares what you name your vacuum? Well, I'm going to name it Hazel. Hazel 1 and Hazel 2. And, that show was way before my time. But I've seen reruns. She's hilarious. So, yeah, but take a shot. Take a shot. If there's something you want to go for it. Take your 1 shot. Maybe 2. But the reason they're saying, if not 2, move on, because if you're trying to shoot your shot with somebody, they may just not be interested, and you cannot force them. Okay, we were watching, Sibling and I were watching a show, How It Really Happened, with, I think, Hill Harper on CNN, and they were doing the Jenny Jones thing. It's like, ooh. That ended very, very badly. Very, very badly. And the person just couldn't take the hint that this other person just was not interested. And it ended very badly. It was very sad. It's a very sad story across the board. Across the board. It's hard. It feels like it's hard to point fingers, even though it should be pretty obvious where the fingers should be pointed. But it's just, I mean, in any direction. But it was just, in a nutshell, It was just a very, very sad situation and a very, very sad, ordeal. And I think a lot of that too is conditioning. How we treat our kids to treat other people, how we treat our kids to be ashamed of certain things, or, we live in a different world now. Some people think other people are too soft. It depends. It depends. But the thing is we have to learn to love one another. We have to learn to embrace one another and our differences. I mean, if, I don't know, this is going to be a terrible, terrible example. But say you're a tiny, skinny person and you see this chubby person over there and they're having the time of their life, but you don't want to talk to them because you don't want to be seen with someone fat. You might be missing out on something. Or maybe you're a plus size person, you're walking down the street and you see this skinny person having this great old grand time, but somebody you probably would totally get along with, or maybe something's resonating with you and you might want to give feedback, but you don't do it because you're afraid maybe you're going to be ridiculed or something, because you're automatically thinking that someone who might be smaller than you is going to make fun of you. You may be missing out on something. It's two people that may be missing out on something just because we're looking with our eyes instead of with our heart. We need to look at people with our hearts and not just our eyes, because you don't know what you're missing out on. People change over time. I've been very lucky to have such wonderful people in my life, and they just kind of traipse right into my life, and it's just like, wow, where'd you come from? Baby Bear's one of them. Baby Sibling's one of them. I wouldn't know Baby Bear without Baby Sibling. So, it's amazing how we become interconnected with certain people. So, just take your shot. And if it doesn't work out, just keep moving forward, right? Because that next person may be the one that you get to shoot your shot with. And that, like I said, that's not just about relationships and stuff. That's just across the board. I read a thing on LinkedIn yesterday, and somebody was talking about, I was supposed to have an interview, and they decided, or before my interview even happened, they had already hired somebody, but I really had wished that I could have, shown them what I was worth, because I really wanted this job. Should I keep trying? For me, I would say no. And the only reason I say that is because they didn't even have the courtesy to hear you out before they hired somebody else. I mean, they could have just hired that person and said, you know what, I want to interview you anyways. And not told you. I know that might not be ethical, but not told you, but see how you do in case that person doesn't work out. But now I think when it comes to those types of things, I think it is life telling you, hey, you know what, something better is out there for you. At the company I used to work for, the first year I was there, they were replacing somebody in one of our departments. And this one girl came in, absolutely loved her. She was funny, she was sweet, she was kind. And they had another person come in that was kind of standoffish, seemed kind of lazy, just didn't really, just seemed very disconnected and disinterested. They hired that person. Okay? And fortunately, the person they didn't hire, because this other lady they hired just, up and left. I mean, they even asked me, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I like this one better because I think she'd be a better fit, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why they were asking me. Nobody really cares what I think. But they were just wondering. And turns out after 3 weeks, 3 weeks of training for this person who was trying to move out of town because they were moving back home, she just up and never showed up again. And they're lucky that this other person who they should have hired to begin with, who is still with the company, by the way, and who's moved up very, 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 very well into that company, they ended up hiring her. And her and I used to talk about it all the time. It's like, what the hell were they thinking? Who decided that was okay? But turns out this person was perfect for this job. And like I said, she moved up. She even became the head. She's like the head of her department. So in the office. But this is why sometimes it's good, if you're the person hiring, if you've given someone an interview, hear them out, because you never know what's going to happen. Even if you choose not to go in that direction at the time, you do not know what's going to happen. They may pan out for you later, or they may pan out in other areas. I can't tell you how many people came in to interview for one thing and then were called back for a whole different position, that was better for them. One person came in to interview for a loan admin position, ended up being the head of, the supervisor in a different department maybe a year or so later when that person left. They needed someone to fill in the spot, right? So it worked out. So just think about that, all right? Let's see. We'll do 2 more of these. So love. Oh, get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Remember, the rebel deck can be pretty rebellious with the verbiage. But yeah, love. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Anybody, smile at someone today. I mean, we don't have to mask up in a lot of places. If you do mask up, you can even just say hi. You can say hi to someone. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? If you're not masking up, smile at someone. You could even say as well, smile and go, hey, how's it going? A lot of us have learned when we wear masks outside to smile with our eyes, right? So you could even do that if you're wearing a mask. But spread your love, spread your joy, spread your sunshine. Spread all the good things about you. If you're not in a great mood, maybe you're in a poor mood, do it anyway, because that might actually cheer you up. And if they don't respond, it's okay. Some people just get caught off guard and don't know what to do. And some people they're very shy and don't know how to answer and just might nod. But just do it if it makes you happy. If you feel compelled to tell somebody, hey, hi, or hi, have a great day. It may feel like it didn't affect them, but it may have. Maybe they were having a bad day and you just snapped them out of spiraling. You never know what your kind words can do for somebody. And then, and the last card, this puts that's the period on the sentence. Don't fucking force it. Allow that shit to come to you. Don't fucking force it. Allow that shit to come to you. That's the way to end. Don't force it. That's kind of like this. If your shot misses, don't worry about it, because something better is coming up down the road. Something better is going to happen for you. So, but don't force it. When you try to force something, you're actually kind of screwing with the energies out there, because they may already have the plan and you may be putting wrinkles in it. You may be taking this car on a journey it doesn't need to go just to come back to the main road and say, wow, why'd that take so long? So don't force it, okay? Just don't fucking force it. Just let it happen naturally. All right? Oh, this is perfect. I'm going to actually end with this. So Michelle says, Baby Bear, my rule is I try to compliment at least one person when I'm out shopping or just out and about. So again, when she's out and about in the world, she tries to compliment at least one person. Now, I know for her, this is also good, because, we all have comfort zones that we get nervous stepping out of, right? Because, we don't know what people are going to respond or react or whatever. But you know what? Do it. If you see somebody wearing something you like, wow, that's pretty rad, tell them. It's okay. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in an elevator and said, oh my God, I love your purse. And they just kind of look at me like I have 10 heads, and then they realize what I'm saying. And they're like, oh, well, thank you. And I've had people do that to me, like, who, me? And it's like, well, you like something I like? Or you like something I have? I'm a geek. All right. So a lot of the bags I have, a lot of the purses I have, reflect my geek pride. I mean, like I have a Doctor Strange, Mary Poppins, well, not really a nerdy movie, but Star Wars, Captain America, a lot of these different things. And see, look, baby sibling does it too. They try to compliment at least one person, at least one. You can do as many as you want, but just step out of your comfort zone. Try to get in there and tell people, hey, you know what? Thanks, or you look great today, or hope you have a nice day, or, I love your shoes. I love your outfit. I love this, that, or the other. I was in the elevator at work one day and I can't help it. I cannot help it. This one guy smelled so amazing. I don't know what cologne he was wearing, but I was about to melt in the elevator. I'm just like, I know this is going to sound weird and I'm really, really sorry. It's going to come off wrong. But I said, I don't know what scent you're wearing, but it smells really good. And he just kind of chuckled and said, it's okay. And he's like, and thank you. And he's all, no, I'm not offended. I knew he was like understanding what I was trying to say. Like, I don't mean to offend you, but, cause I mean, we're in shaky territory now, right? When it comes to compliments. But I couldn't help it. I know I can't help it, guys. If a man smells really good around me, I die. I die. I had one of my favorite hockey players. I'm telling this for the benefit of older sibling. Years ago, before he retired, I got to meet one of my favorite all-time hockey goalies, because I love goalies. And he played for a different team, but I got very, very lucky because a friend of mine worked for my favorite hockey team at the time and got his passes downstairs, and I was able to meet him. And oh my God, he smelled so good. And I could not talk. So, I mean, I was talking, but I was just kind of like, you're just rambling things off. And then, older sibling took a picture of us, and I gave him my shirt to sign because I thought, oh, this will be kind of cool. Because I told him, I said, I'm really sorry, but I don't know if you're going to be back in, I'm not sure if I'll ever get to see you again. So would you mind signing my shirt just so I can remember this moment? And it was his number and that team name shirt. I never washed it because it smelled like him for days. And not because it smelled like him, it just smelled good. I mean, come on, people, across the board. Who has not paid attention to someone who smells fabulous, right? I mean, come on. They make soap commercials about this stuff, like that Axe body spray and how people go crazy around them, right? Never smelled it. I may have, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's that's my stupid thing. So now you know something a little more about me. If you want my attention, smell good around me. But I know I'm such a dork. But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care of yourselves today. It is Self-Care Wednesday. We have a lot of good things across the board on what we can see. Baby sibling. Oh wait, no, that was something else. Never mind. There's a lot of things we can do across the board for our self-care, whether it's physically, mentally, or personally. I think both. Okay, just take care of yourselves. Do what you need to do. Love yourselves completely. Don't shame yourselves. Okay, don't food shame yourselves. Don't body shame yourselves. I know it's easier said than done, and it does take practice, but practice makes perfect. And I mean perfect like in quotes, right? Like, because we're going for progress, not perfection. That's my favorite thing that baby sibling says to me all the time. Progress, not perfection. And that's what we're going for. But, practice is progress. How about that? We'll go with that. Practice is progress. And the more you progress, the more you're going to realize your mindset's starting to change. And the more you're going to start to see who you really are, on the inside and the outside. And you're going to love yourself. And all the things that people might say to you, they're going to bounce off of you because you're going to be like, you know what? I love who I am. And if you can't handle that, that's not my problem. All right. So have a great, great day. Take care of yourself. Self-Care Wednesday, hump day. I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for Things to Think on Thursday. Otherwise, you can catch it later on YouTube on the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. That's also where you can find me on Facebook, Shelly Marie Lucas. It is live and it is public if you want to jump on in and make comments. Or I do put them onto Twitter later. All right. So have a great, great day. Have a great day, baby bear. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.